I would say, if I were to describe it, I would say that Montreal is a place that seems like it's trying to be French if you just came here for the first time. But then once you go a layer deeper, it's a totally unique culture and place, and the food and the stairs and all these little idiosyncrasies kind of give it a sense and I don't know, like a mystique that I don't know where anywhere else in North America has the same feeling as Montreal, especially in the summer. I mean, like, the city truly like comes alive. I think there's something special about the fact that everyone feels like they're kind of trapped indoors all winter, and then the terraces open up and the parks come alive. And I think there's few other places that I want to visit in the summer like Montreal. We were staying at a hotel. Usually for home games, we didn't stay at a hotel. My roommate was Marco Donadel. I remember, for some reason, one vivid memory from actually this would be the evening before the game. We were sitting in the room chatting, and he would always reread Le Petit Prince. So I don't know, it was his favorite book, so we spent an evening talking about that. And he was much older, and this is probably like gonna be it was my first big home game as a professional, and so he was sharing some of his stories from playing in Italy for so long. The next day was probably as seemingly innocuous as any other day. I think we spent most of the morning doing a bit of exercises to get moving. I think we walked around the local mall for a while. But I think once we kind of got in the bus and you had the energy driving into the stadium, I remember pulling into the back and you're getting off and you start looking at all the people who have been there, setting it up, getting the field ready, all of our different trainers, and you start to kind of get this adrenaline that's building and building and building. And you realize, I think the biggest moment was for me walking into the stadium for the first time during warm-ups and having a crowd absolutely erupt. And you just knew it just felt different. And for me walking onto that field, I mean, I wasn't starting the game. I just felt like that was a special moment in and of itself. And I remember getting onto the field just thinking, you know what, if that's all I take away from this game and this experience and this tournament, that's enough to be like a really profound memory of this game and soccer in my career. And to have it kind of turn into so much more, that's what makes it special. I remember after Simon gave up the PK, just how the energy just drained out of the stadium. You kind of have this sinking feeling in your heart. I can remember the moment where Frank Klopas like motioned over, and you're kind of always, when you're running on the sideline, you have half your eye towards the coaches, just wondering, like, are you going to be up next, or are you the one that's going to get pulled over? And I got called up there, and that's when you really start feeling it and realizing that this is a big moment. And all those moments where you get on the field in college or when you're younger kind of go flashing through your head, and how are you going to make a difference? There's like 7 minutes left in the game, maybe. You know, the only thing that would go through my head was just run, just sprint. Like, everyone else on that field is exhausted. So I chest the ball down, and the defender's on my shoulder. Their goalie's coming forward. You kind of have two options. One is try and chip them. Two, I think I could have taken it with the inside of my foot and tried to curl it into the corner. And the last option, which in retrospect I don't know why I chose, was trying to push it through his legs. The ground's a little firmer there, and so it's still up in the air. And it felt natural to try and get my top of the foot on the ball and control it and push it forward. I didn't know what I was going to do or what was going to happen, but my grandma was watching the game, and I think she was drinking Baileys for some reason, and she smashed our glass table in the living room and broke it when the goal happened. So there's fun stories like that, and then there's after the game, every single person that you feel like you ever met is messaging you, and you don't realize how many people are following your career. And then there's just like what's happening in the stadium, and so much of it is an energy that I think is impossible to recreate. And I don't know, it's just special to be a part of that and have that memory. And kind of even just watching these on the screen, you kind of get like a feeling of excitement and energy and a little bit of adrenaline. I usually journal most nights, and honestly before this game, and I could probably send you a photo, but I wrote in the journal that I was like, man, I need to figure out how to make my mark as a soccer player. Like what's gonna be the thing that makes me stand out? And at the time it was just an innocuous thought in the back of my head, and so then post facto go look back at that journal and see this little scribbled note in there and then have this happen. It seems like more than a coincidence. I mean, maybe it was like the whole story of the Champions League. It was how can this team make their mark on history? Like how is that going to happen? And at first I was a bit surprised. I mean, we were down a goal and we needed a goal, but I wasn't expecting to go in after Jack Mack had already come on the field. But then it was immediately is how I'm going to make a difference. Like what is the thing that I can bring to this game that other people can't? And so that's what was going through my head is just how do you do something that matters in the short period of time that you're given. I mean, I think the first thing I see and I realize is just all of my teammates just running at me. And I think that's where it's just like, it feels just like very real. Like that's what you're doing it for, is it's not for yourself. You just get so excited to be kind of on this journey with a group of people that you become close with, even over a short period of time. You're living together, you're pushing each other on and off the field. And that was the exciting, that's where it really kind of starts to sink in. And then first it's the wave of teammates, and then you see the wave of people kind of crashing onto like the fields and the rafters, and there's like explosions, and you're just like, oh my God, like what is going on? And yeah, it was something else. I mean, the other image that's burned into my head is the image of Callum crawling out of like the dog pile, looking like he's just like survived something. I think one moment that was special, kind of walking off the field or when the game ends and everyone's there, is Mauro Biello came up to me, and I mean, at that time we weren't particularly close. We really only spent a bit of a preseason together. And he told me, he said, look, Cam, careers are made of moments like these. And then coming off the field, going into the locker room, I think you kind of have this sense and this expectation that we were now a team on a mission. I remember Frank Lopez talking about how there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows, and to not let the highs take you too high or the lows take you too low. Like, our goal is to keep it even keel, and making sure that as much as we wanted to kind of live in the excitement of this moment, we had more to do and the story wasn't over. It was really like turning the lights on, where all of a sudden people ask for your autograph, and you're like, you really want me to draw in Sharpie on this clothing? You're like, is that really what you want from some random boy from Ohio? I mean, it honestly, like, I just got like kind of goosebumps up my arm. I think that's what's like so profound about moments like this, is as much as it means a lot to like me and it comes up a lot in my life, I think it's hard for me to fully internalize just how much it meant for all the people that were there. And I don't know, I think it helps you understand the type of impact that you can have doing something on a stage like this. And I think it's something that players don't appreciate as often as they could. It's very easy to just get caught up in your story and what you're trying to do and how you want to be a great player and all these things. And it doesn't usually kind of come full circle, and you don't get more than a superficial action with the fans that are making this a part of their lives and their stories too. And so I don't know, it's a little bit just like heartwarming to hear, honestly. And I don't know, it's hard for me to even like know what I would want to like say to that person, because in part for me, it's like I feel like this goal maybe is bigger for them than it is for me, which is crazy. Right now it feels so big when you haven't been on a field for a while. But yeah, I must have collected it around here, a few touches, the guy on the back, goalkeeper's coming. Je suis Cameron Potter et je suis très fier d'être une petite partie de l'histoire de Montréal et le club de l'Impact.